Gotta hear you say.
Talk Radio 790 KABC, or this is the Karl Gerber Workplace Leisure Show. I'm Karl Gerber, and somebody is going to come on the air in a few seconds and explain to us their plan for getting Las Vegas back on track, because the COVID closures have led to a lot of unemployment and near death of the economy there.
I've got a plan on how to economically get Vegas back on track.
Remus Helms? I should have suspected you'd come in tonight. Well, I guess you can be on the panel with the expert we have coming in, who has a solid plan on rebuilding the Las Vegas economy and employment market.
Panel?
A traditional talk show situation where I discuss things, and there's a question, and the panelists are there on serious issues.
Who's the expert?
I don't know.
Are you screening your guests now?
Well, the guest was cleared with the station. They said his credentials were impeccable, like unquestionable.
Yes, I was in the industry as an adult film performer for more than a decade, before I got involved in making my own movies. And then, after you got me $114 million when my genital got infringed, I wisely planted that penile seed money, expanding its death to a fortune of $114 billion.
We're aware of your qualifications. I was referring to the qualifications of the expert who's going to come on, appear on this show tonight with me to explain a credible plan on rehabilitating the economics and economy as Las Vegas.
Nah, I am the expert.
Well, yes, on bedroom toys and various matters related to sex.
And ostrich ranching.
I wouldn't think Las Vegas's seized economy would be rehabilitated with ostrich farming.
Of course not. I wouldn't want ostriches living under grow lights inside the hotels and casinos, even if they aren't smoking right now at one of them. The past cigarette smoke could damage the complex lung system of an ostrich.
Well, could the ostriches survive in the Las Vegas strip clubs?
No, thank you for reminding me of the Vegas strip clubs. So different than the local ones around town here. You can't forget about the strip clubs, even though Nazuki has no respect for strippers or big toe washers. Those trades clearly take far less talent than a Nuru nurse, let alone a Nuru nurse on Nazuki's level. If there are any others who aren't infected.
I suspect that nurses would get caught up with the coronavirus.
Mr. Gerber, they have other more seriously transmitted diseases to contend with.
Where is our guest? This is only a half-an-hour show.
I am the guest.
What? I mean, the guest is supposed to have a credible plan about rehabilitating Las Vegas, given the closures, fewer foreign visitors, a lack of conventions, the fact many conventions may be on Zoom after COVID's over.
I'd hate to think of Adult Entertain Expo going virtual. Fans wouldn't have a chance to see the important features of the stars up close. In fact, very close. In fact, gaping.
Oh, but on the other hand, Ron Jeremy wouldn't have the opportunity to squeeze women's breasts and then get it debated whether that photo op helped their careers or was unwanted, and what is unwanted for an adult performer at a convention like that.
If the allegations are true, Mr. Jeremy will be spending a long time staring at the ceiling of a jail cell. Everybody knows Remus Helms never engaged in non-consensual activities. Well, on the other hand, bad expression. The point, who would turn down expansion realm of Remus Helms?
There is something I have to say at this point in the program. This program has been made possible through a generous grant from the Helms Foundation's $5.14 billion in funding and 14 inches of endowment.
My point. Who would turn down an opportunity to experience that kind of endowment?
As you know, I've been looking for another sponsor for years, but nobody will touch the show.
And just give them permission.
You know, this episode is not going to be Remus Helms jacking things and talking about whatever he wants just because he's the show's sponsor. The Las Vegas economy is important to our Southern California listeners, and there are many people listening in Las Vegas.
Mr. Gerber, the Helms plan is guaranteed to bring Las Vegas back full attention. A full 1,400 feet high.
Oh, according to my information, the stratosphere in Las Vegas is only 1,149 feet.
Now, the Helms Corporation is quite prepared to insert a penile implant that will extend its height to 1,400 feet.
What?
It's not the same thing a man would buy after listening to an AM radio advertisement for a doctor. Obviously, the Helms Corporation is involved in manufacturing such products, more complex than the competitors, and with the help of a $114 million partnership with Dr. D's Biolab. They greatly need money after the SKPs and the property damage you covered on episode 112 of this show. They are prepared to assist the Helms Corporation in manufacturing a 251-foot extension with the same technology the Helms Corporation uses to manufacture penile implants.
Oh, this is how Las Vegas is supposed to be enhanced? I mean, rehabilitated?
Yeah, the extension is merely a finishing personal touch from the Helms Corporation.
Well, they are prepared to do more than difficult construction at 1,200 to 1,400 feet, aren't they?
I'd prefer not to think of the modification of important organs as construction.
I still think getting up that high and adding on 251 feet would be difficult. Well, it would provide some jobs, though.
The whole point of bioengineering is to make it grow on its own.
Since it doesn't seem that you have a credible plan for getting the hotels booked, the convention center filled, and people back at the gaming tables, perhaps I should turn the rest of this show into an infomercial.
Yeah, not an infomercial for yourself. Well, perhaps Helms Corporation. But I do have a plan. The stratospheric extension is a mere pinnacle.
Other than ensuring the adult industry convention happens once it's safe, what is your plan?
Come now, Mr. Gerber. Not here. Don't be like that guy tying up the big White House. You know the one. Who incidentally owes me a sum just under $1 billion for the Helms Corporation's Prozac and hydrochloric acid pills. No Xanax and malaria drug. He stiffed me on that. Can you believe that?
Do you have a habit of stiffing people?
In a matter of speaking, but Remus Helms always pays his debts.
I hate to say it, but it might take something of Olympic proportions to get Las Vegas back on track after all those closures.
Precisely, Mr. Gerber. That is my point. Well, not the point I was born with, of course. My point as a matter of speaking.
You're thinking there could be an indoor Olympics there? But we can't have a bunch of people together yet.
Yes, we can. Take, for instance, the mile-long bed at the Remus Helms Cosplay Ostrich Ranch in Sun Valley, California. There hasn't been a single breakout. Well, not of the coronavirus, at least.
I just can't see alpine skiing off one of those bridges that connect the hotels to the street.
Mr. Gerber, what I propose can take place entirely inside Although there are the voyeurs and sex in public places does get a certain amount of web traffic.
What exactly are you saying?
Mr. Gerber, get ready for this announcement. Yes, it is first being announced here on KABC Radio. Are you ready?
I'm not finding this particularly stimulating.
Remus Helms, the most important man of Sun Valley, California, is prepared to launch the first indoor, well, now that I'm thinking, outdoor also, the launch of the first worldwide sexual Olympics.
I thought you disbanded that idea once you realized you could not be very particular about those particular Olympics on this commercial radio show.
The Helms Corporation has found a way to get around that.
You won't be discussing your sex Olympics on this show. That's excellent news.
My assistant will be handing you a sterile mask with a set of Prince Albert tongs.
This is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show on Talk Radio 790 KBC. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Employment Lawyers Group has successfully represented employees in wrongful termination, sexual harassment, employment discrimination, and unpaid wage lawsuits, including class actions. They are only paid when and if money is collected from the employer. Call 877-525-0700 during the week for an experienced job lawyer. 877-525-0700.
Proud, courageous, dedicated. These are the words that come to mind when we think of our nation's veterans. Sadly, there's another word that describes thousands of veterans. Homeless. During this crisis, many veterans are living on the street, sleeping on nothing more than a piece of cardboard. You can help. Every dollar donated to Veterans Matter can help move a homeless hero from the street to a home of their own. Donate now at cardboardtoheadboard.org. They're not alone. They have you.
The men of Troy are back and ready to conquer the Pac-12.
We're all back. We're all excited to be here. Let's go compete for that Pac-12 championship.
Catch every second of this highly anticipated season here. AM 790 KABC.
I'm never gonna hear you say Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber, a real workplace lawyer, and Remus Helms is in studio.
Just put the mask on your face and begin to talk. Juan, can you tweak that a little? I heard most of what he said. Yes, Mr. Gerber, you will have a roll, too. No, not an egg roll. A roll in my sex Olympics.
I will not.
Don't take the mask off. We're about to discuss some things that cannot be said on the radio. Listeners will have to purchase the Helms Corporation's new voice interpreter to hear what we're saying.
Well, this can be used to talk over somebody, say, in a presidential debate?
Yes. Now, put it back on.
No, I don't want to roll in your worldwide sex Olympics in Las Vegas.
Come now, Mr. Gerber. Not here. I've thought long, and I won't say hard. You wouldn't like that image. I've thought for a long time what I can do to get you on the right track. The role I'm proposing for you in the Worldwide Sexual Olympics is not as a judge. You don't have the experience, of course, yet.
I never wanted to be a judge, just a lawyer who represents clients.
The opportunity I am going to present to you will surely be a game changer in your career.
Oh, having anything to do with your sex Olympics could be the downfall of my practice representing women in sexual harassment cases.
Mr. Gerber, after careful consideration and given your extensive radio experience, I'm prepared to offer you a position that could propel you to the top. The absolute top. I am talking about the White House.
Oh, look, this country is thoroughly sick and tired of disreputable talk show hosts. I don't want to be thought of as disreputable. I mean, after all, the Health Foundation sponsors a show. Why did I agree to that?
The position in the Sexual Olympics I am prepared to offer you is...
If you want the show broadcast as a sort of warm-up to the games, I might be willing to license that for the small sum of $14 million per episode.
Yes. All 121 of the episodes on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show on YouTube could be played during intermission. See, how many times have I been on that one?
Oh, can we just end this segment now?
I am prepared to offer you a ground floor opportunity to come up the same way as Ronnie Reagan did.
I'm going to be president of SAG?
The announcer of sports games.
What would I announce?
After a brief training session by the Helms Corporation, well, you might be ready to go.
What kind of training session would the Helms Corporation or Foundation provide as to how to be an announcer?
As I've said before, rather parochial sources state there are a mere 151 sexual positions. That's a vast understatement. There will be classes for so many more sexual activities at the Remus Helms Worldwide Sexual Olympics. You'll have to be qualified and tested as to each.
Well, this is one job I don't want.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Gerber. I know with you being a lawyer, the natural career move is to judge. But I am the only one qualified to judge these particular Olympics.
Yes.
Who else has the experience?
Well, that is quite sexist. I mean, how could you judge a man's performance?
I'd rather not comment.
Well, fine. Shouldn't an expert on neuromassages, say Nizuki, judge the old slip and slide competition?
Yes, you're right. I won't be the only judge. I believe my daughter Reverb should judge the female performance of ASMR whisper porn.
Well, presuming it is same-sex whisper porn, shouldn't there be a man there to judge the results?
Mr. Gerber, the results will speak for themselves in volume.
Even if this sex Olympic thing is a big hit, the concept is still a year away, plus, until a vaccine is widely distributed.
In the meantime, the Helms Corporation has devised a fix for that issue.
Oh, these will be virtual sex Olympics?
Of course, there will be categories for that. But in the interim, between a strong cure of a cocktail of malaria drug and antidepressant, we will have to appear to the kinky set.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem. That's why most people don't like this show.
If it's a matter of the entire economy of Nevada, Las Vegas, the gaming industry, the convention industry, hotel occupancy surviving, Americans will have to choose between kink and the disappearance of an entire state that might just not be voting for that guy who owes me all the money on the antidepressant / malaria drug the Helms Corporation so patriotically furnished the federal government.
How much kink does the public have to endure, Remus Helms? We've already had that plastic woman and the guy with the 5 hair plugs tying up the White House, and a few people got really ill thinking of maybe the one time that they consummated that bizarre marriage.
Trust that the kink at issue for these games is a whole lot better than a woman who is more plastic and silicone than Slovakian.
Yeah, that whole scene is a bit too kinky for me. No woman needs that much plastic surgery, silicone injections of orange cream. That's him. To look like a reconstructed monster. No man either.
Which leads to the question whether she is a she or she is a cross-dresser.
I never considered that. There could be some truth in that. Women simply aren't that... I can't find the word.
The participants will be on oxygen. The public can think what they want. Strictly health purposes or a bit of kink. Does it really matter?
Will that work?
There will be no mouth-to-mouth sporting events for the time being. The oxygen masks will discourage that.
I was referring to the fact these particular type of Olympics, like all Olympics, might require a type of advanced respiration that might not work when wearing, say, gas mask style oxygen masks.
In order to be a sexual athlete, the contestant will have to shine in all respects. Train, have the ability to wear an oxygen mask when performing.
We can't discuss an actual sex act on the radio.
It's not one sex. It's all sex acts.
Then there'll be subcategories?
Yes, Mr. Gerber. Not all categories will be team sports. Of course, there will be... I'm having a senior... What did they call those things that run on tracks?
Moving away from the particulars of the varying Olympic categories, what makes you think this will fill up the hotels, casinos, and airports?
Mr. Gerber, do you really think this event wouldn't sell out in 14 minutes?
It could take 15.
Until there is a widely distributed vaccine. This will be primarily broadcast on the Remus Helms channel. It's unfortunate KABC cannot broadcast this event.
Oh, imagine the on-screen advertisers this will attract.
I fancy the fact there will be enough contestants, trainers, news media to fill up all of the hotels. The commercial shipping agency will be working double time processing all the bedroom toys coming in for the event. Protection, gels, costumes. Many of the participants will be in full regalia.
You know, I do believe that the public might be ready for something like this. We survived 4 years with a reality television president creating daily chaos. The public needs to, how should I say it? Relax in front of their computer screens, smartphone screens, in the privacy of their homes.
Then will you at least consider being the announcer of some of the games?
I'd prefer not to get that close up and personal with this event.
You could use binoculars, especially on those field events.
Field events?
These are Olympic events.
Which events? Oh, you're wearing that weird mask again.
It's the only way I can say certain things on the air.
Okay, there you have it. Tonight we've heard a credible plan aimed at revamping Las Vegas's economy and employment situation on the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We'll be back at the same time, same place next week for more. Well, is this comedy or is this employment law?
The Employment Lawyers Group has successfully represented employees in wrongful termination, sexual harassment, employment discrimination, and unpaid wage lawsuits, including class actions. They are only paid when and if money is collected from the employer. Call 877-525-0700 during the week for an experienced job lawyer. 877-525-0700.
AM 790.
KABC.